Media Talks, the podcast that helps to better understand the world of media and video advertising.
Hello and welcome to all our Media Talks listener. I'm super excited to return after a short, but as we all agree, a welcome break, which gave us a bit of time to reflect on the extraordinary time that we've been through over the past couple of years and think about the exciting year ahead of us as we start to come out of the pandemic and start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm particularly excited to be here today with Andrea Conte, Head of Product Development and Data at Publitalia IT, which is part of the Mediaset group. Andrea, buongiorno and welcome.
Buongiorno. Hi, Emmanuel. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
So in the next 15 minutes, we're going to talk about some of the latest advancements that have been implemented at Publitalia in Italy and how these changes are sort of opening the door to simpler and more effective ad campaigns. Just before we dive in though, I just wanted to clarify something for the benefits of our listener who may not be familiar with Publitalia IT. So Andrea, can you tell us a little bit more about what is Publitalia compared to the Mediaset?
Yes, of course. So Publitalia is the sales house of Mediaset Group. Historically, it was founded in the 80s to monetize linear TV, and is the area of the company where we have APEC and business development organization, and we are doing the digital transformation of the advertising business.
Okay, very good. Thanks for this. So I wanted to start our discussion with the recent relaunch or in fact, I should say probably repositioning of Mediaset's OTT offering. I understand that you sort of brought together Mediaset Play and Mediaset Infinity. Maybe can you just tell us a little bit more about this and what you've done over the past year?
Yes, of course. So in the recent times, actually, Mediaset had different brands. So Mediaset Infinity was the brand for subscription-based content, movies and series, and Mediaset Play was more related to catch-up TV and driven by TV shows. But of course, as the market rationalized and as we have these big OTT brands that are actually in the mind of our users, we thought that probably it was best to create one single brand and to also capitalize on the strength of the two. So we have very strong TV shows, and we have this catch-up TV mode in Mediaset Play, but then we also have strong partnership for movies, and also Mediaset produce its own content with production houses. So it made sense actually to bundle all this in a single entry point for our users, where they can actually have a journey. They can start, AVOD base, and then they go with a subscription. They can also download and pay for a preview. This was very popular into the pandemic, where you cannot go into the cinema, right? So you can download a preview in Infinity. So it was right, after the release of the movie. So that was a really, really good feature that we launched. And yes, right now, Mediaset Infinity is our brand cross-screen with mobile, web, and connected TV apps, where we have, all the good content we produce.
So the consumer has a choice. Then when they come into the platform, there's a free AVOD type offering, but it's also a subscription offering. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct. And then we have various channel layered on top of the free, let's say, AVOD funded experience. So we can have also, various other channel with themes, with verticals. So with kids, with sport, we have partnership with other content providers, such as, for example, Juventus channel for sport and for football. Then we have a light subscription also for who is really, really into, kids and cartoons kind of content. So we have adopted this layered approach where you have essentially a free app where you can see actually some of the content, and then you have Infinity subscription, which is our own SVOD, and then you have various add-on you can add into your bouquet. So you build yourself actually your content you are interested into.
Is the I don't know if you have the answer to this, but is the idea to try and bring the consumer to the SVOD or to the AVOD platform, or is just an open offering? And is there in some ways a preference for you to have those consumer picking one or the other?
Yes, of course. In terms of of quality, and also tied to to some market pivoting on data as well. The logged in user, it's the best thing we could have. So it's really about showing the great content the user can subscribe to convert them to a SVOD subscription, but not necessarily this is the right path for all the users. So Mediaset has an history about being a commercial broadcaster for so many times, for so long into the country. So actually advertising funded is really at the core of what Mediaset has been doing since, the 80s. So we will always have, a big portion of the country that will like Mediaset shows in, with a lighter approach, not necessarily to subscribe. So we try actually to intercept the widest audience we can.
Audience. Yeah, fair. Okay. I wanted to talk about addressable TV. And last year, or in fact, toward the back end of 2020, we heard Paola Colombo talk about some of the progress and innovation you made around sort of linear addressable. I think you further pushed throughout last year. Could you give us a sense of where you are today and what sort of the advancements you've made and progress on the linear addressable front?
Yes, so linear addressable was launched actually 4 years ago in terms of what it was the first product we bring on the market, which is the display advertising. So this is in fact linear ads, and they are addressable because they happen, in the linear broadcast, and they are display. So that was first iteration. Then obviously we added on top of it the linear ad insertion, so also called dynamic ad insertion, DAI, so the possibility to swap linear ads with addressable ads. And as you rightfully mentioned, we launched this 2020, and Paola was really loud about it, and we were communicating about this because we were actually the first broadcaster to do this on a TV set, so not owning any box, really with the technical capabilities a TV set can offer. Yes, we pushed this product because it's video, it's linear video, and then it has all the addressability on it. So it really formed a key pillar of our offering in 2021. We bundle it with VOD to maximize the reach. So we have this a very good product that the market picked up really, really quickly. And we are polishing it with new innovation, also thanks to a product that we have through Will Hilda that powers our commercial product. So yes, in the second half of last year, we polished it in order to add linear clash management and also industry clash management. So yes, this brings the product actually to a level of control for advertiser that is really extremely close to what they can achieve into linear TV. So yes, I think that is the last iteration of the product, and we are really happy about it.
The two things I probably want to talk about, we will probably talk about clash management, but the first one, you said obviously you don't need a set-top box, and so when you do the linear addressable, so you using the HBBTV protocol, which is the hybrid broadcast broadband TV, which is I would say a protocol for the delivery of advanced interactive TV services. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you're using or the importance of HBBTV?
Yes, so HBTV is really important to us, and Mediaset has invested since its beginning of it. So our R&D members sits also in HBTV, and they participate to the drawing of the specs. So we are really contributor about this standard. And in Italy, we are very lucky because we have just one version, HBTV 2.0, and this has been powering the linear addressable product since 4 years. We leverage HBTV stream event to swap advertising in sync with the broadcast. So yeah, it really powers all our linear addressable products. And so far it has been actually the only way in Italy to go linear addressable for a broadcaster that doesn't own a box. So it's really powerful because it's horizontal. It's not vertical on the technology. So you have all the TV sets supporting it. So we build actually our commercial products on top of HBTV capabilities.
Okay, right. And just to understand as well, what when you mentioned clash management, can you explain what this is?
Yes, so it's the ability to actually inform the ad server, so the digital decision about what's happening in the linear break. So if we have a single spot replacement, like our product is, so we just swap one spot very precisely, and it's one house ads. So in a linear break, you will have a Mediaset Play promotion or any brand of the Mediaset group doing house ads. And so we do yield management on this, replacing it when we have an opportunity with a paying ad. The ability to understand what's going on into the break, regardless of the other advertisers that are present, it's key, and it's really an indication about the control you can give then to advertiser and agencies, right? Because if you replace an automotive and then you have another automotive in the break, maybe that client doesn't want it, or it's not part of their strategy to be in a break with a competitor. So now we offer that level of control. So we offer that level of control to the client, giving the possibility to actually exclude the linear break where they are already present, but also to control their present side by side with a competitor, or really in a break where there is not the same industry. So we actually give the linear addressable product a much more premium approach, and we really build on top of the first iteration to give our client the best control we can achieve. So we had a campaign that was for jewelry just right before Christmas, and as you can imagine, the linear ads and the linear break were crowded about jewelry and perfumes and this kind of Christmas things. So we launched a linear addressable campaign that was not going with any other jewelry in the linear breaks. So basically, when you were swapping a spot and doing the replacement with the digital ad server, they were alone in the break, not only with their brand, but also with their industry. So there was, in terms of also of recall, brand recall, this is, maximum, because you don't have two competitors of the same vertical back to back.
Okay. And so, in fact, that's a pretty good leeway to the next question I wanted to have around measurement. And it's always the $1 million question, but how do you measure success on the linear addressable? I understand do you do like a attribution studies around this?
Yeah, so we've been active actually in the last couple of years, actually trying to have more measurability into the connected TV space, and that not necessarily mean giving a third party the ability to measure everything in the connected TV space, but it was more about having a quality approach to the measurement and really to control it end to end. So what we've decided to do actually, well, this is an angle, of course, it's to try to measure the connected TV with mobile data. So that's quite quite new approach in the space to the attribution. And we decided actually to acquire a mobile data company, which is called Pintu. And this company has actually a lot of data about geo-behavioral, so the movement of the mobile identifiers, mobile phones, let's say, in the space. So why we did that? Because we have an household graph at Mediaset, so we can link actually activity from one household to between devices actually. So an activity going on in connected TV, and then maybe an activity of a mobile phone. If it's in the same household, we actually bundle it together in, let's say, a family or some kind of entity that's shared, a space or a moment. And then we are able to understand with the mobile data company how this mobile phone actually behaved in the space after or before the exposure to a connected TV ads. So what we build, it's a drive to site. So let's say connected TV to physical funnel to measure the effectiveness of connected TV. So we do this with a control group and with a group of exposed to the connected TV ads. And then we measure the difference of these two groups in the mobile space with certain KPIs. So we did few cases with automotive, but also with shops, proving the fact that actually exposed people to connected TV ads are doing more activity into the physical space. So that has been quite successful and quite new approach, because it was not just saying, well, we will plug just a viewability partner into our ads and measuring, let's say, the digital way, but it was more about finding a different approach to it, and also communicating to the client that we had ideas and we had something new to offer, and we were, by the way, the only one to offer this kind of addressable TV to mobile measurement. So it has been perceived very well by the client, because obviously this is a new space. So I think they really appreciate when you try to disrupt. Obviously they are also very challenging. Our client and agency are very challenging because they want more. They want maybe the measurement in the way they are used to have it in the digital space. So yeah, I think it's a matter of an exchange going on while the market matures.
Yes, and I think there's a lot more now requests in some ways to move away from the standard CPM measurement and go into really effectiveness. And I think that's where I think measurement is now going. So this is certainly a step in the right direction as well, measuring this. I'll probably have one final question, because we're reaching the end of our podcast already, but I just wanted to check, so what's coming up sort of next year or this year? What's next on the agenda for you guys?
Yeah, so this year I think, it's the year where we want to scale this approach about, linear addressable, quality-based approach to, the linear addressable. So we have now the product ready. We really want to scale it. So this is one thing. This year it will be also a lot about data, because I'm sure you are informed about, of course, GDPR, but obviously regulation in Italy, in France, enforcing a little bit more than what GDPR says, the consent data collection, the consent management. So yeah, at Mediaset, we are not just an OTT, we are also a very big media group with sites, with apps. So it's not just about Mediaset Infinity. So we want to actually ensure our possibility to do audience targeting based campaigns. So we will need to pivot towards first-party data usage. So this is tied to what I was saying at the beginning, that our registered user, it's the top value we can have, because actually, this proves trust between the user and the content provider or the company, and then also enables to monetize the user better, maybe with less load, but with more premium advertising. So I think it's key for us to pivot on first party data and to increase the quality of advertising and of data that we have on the market. So these are the two big focus this year.
Awesome. We'll be following that very closely, Andrea, and maybe we'll redo this in a year's time or so and see where we are. So we're already reaching the end of our discussion, but before we go, I like to end my podcast on a more personal note. And I will continue on for this year and keep with the tradition. So I always ask my guest, and if you could share something you deeply care about.
Yes, well, I think it's something that everyone's care about, but for me, actually, it has really a special approach in this, pandemic couple of years. It's, let's say family and friends. So my family is very international because I'm, part of my family is in France, part in Italy, then the Netherlands. We have people all around Europe. So basically, it was really, really tough to have this, this limitation, and it's really, it was tough. Yes. So during the pandemic, not seeing family and friends, it was really, everyone knows that actually family and friends, it's fantastic, but the pandemic really proved how important our human relationship and the fact to see each other around a cup of coffee and not just watch all the time your laptop, right? So for me, it was really, big limitation, and I understood how much I care about even, the cousin that sometimes clashes with you, or I don't know, your aunt that you don't want to see it, but now you want to see it again,
Completely. I couldn't agree more. I have to say, it is that close proximity and the family is so important, and it's in time like this, and you realize how important it is and how lucky sometimes we are. Andrea, thank you ever so much for sharing this and for all your insights today. It's been a great pleasure to have you on this first Media Talks of the year. And as I said, we'll make sure we keep an eye on the development for 2022, and maybe we'll have this again in a year's time and see where we are. We will return next month with some more stories and insights. And as always, if you listener have any ideas or any specific requests or topics we should address, please do get in touch. But until next time, thanks for listening. Goodbye.